So I was listening to the Two Bros One Shaker Cup podcast with John Hack and Andy Huang, and they had Garrett Fear on, and they started talking about kind of a structure for teamed powerlifting. How would you see team powerlifting going?
I feel like I've talked to at least like the USPA state meet director in my state before about that kind of stuff. I think it's an interesting concept because if you look at like Florida, Texas, California, and a couple of the Midwest states do, like those are like really like the hotbeds. Like there's a lot of strong lifters in those areas. So like if you were even to like break it up like region wise, right? Like I think that'd be pretty cool. You'd have to probably have like a team. So like you'd have to have like weight class and then just filled out, right? You could either go average total, maybe, but that's a little more biased toward the big guys. So you probably have to do like average coefficient. So I'm not a big fan of that. I mean, if it was, maybe Wilkes would be the fairest one. So you could do based off that, or you could just do head to head. Whoever wins at 181, 90, 198, all the way up to the list and stuff. That'd be pretty cool too.
Kind of like a anime tournament style.
Knowing powerlifting, dude, they probably have all three of those, and so you just get three different awards for three different things. Most total points, most head-to-head wins. You know what I mean? Everyone, a million awards. I think that'd be cool because you just get a lot of the biggest guys all in the same spot, and those are always the most fun. I mean, even like the meet we had, like you get 5 or 6 of us all in the same, where everyone's just picking each other's brain. Everyone's just kind of hanging out in between lifts and stuff. Like it's fun, you know what I mean? Big gatherings, we can all kind of do like that. I mean, like we could get together, just like to go to watch. You know what I mean? We were talking about going just to the pro Raw in September. If plane tickets aren't like $1 million here by then, just to go watch, because it's like you get to see so many of your friends, and to be at a big meet and just watch it and not compete. Like I went to the Kern last year, and it was like it's a totally different thing. Like you just get to watch it from like the fan perspective. You know what I mean? And it's like all these people that and like big ass lifts going on. You're the one screaming in the crowd and stuff. Like it's cool doing that too. So.
Yeah, you get really used to saying the word up. Garrett had this idea of like an east-west, so like have the top lifters in each weight class. But he was saying like load the bar by coefficient, which that would take a million fucking years, because you'd go from like a 198er squatting like 700 to like Dan squatting 1100. And then back down to a female.
What if you did just like, so if we had like a men and a women, right? You could just do 2 flights each. So like they have for the American Pro, it's just like a heavy flight and a light flight. So you just zip through that. So you'd have 4 flights total. So light heavy girls, light heavy guys. And I mean, those are going to be about, because if you had everyone all on the same flight, like they had it was like the main event car, pro card or whatever at the Kern. You had John Hack in the same flight as Dan Bell. Like obviously like coefficient point wise, they're close, but like John was squatting 750, and then they'd have to go all the way up to 1,100 pounds and then go back down to 7. You know what I mean? It was like the spotters were working their asses off, which is fine. You know what I mean? Like you're there to, show up. But I think, more organizationally, it would probably be better to kind of do it like that. But that'd be kind of dope because, a 4-flight meet's not huge. You know what I mean? Like, you could knock that whole, whatever you would want to call it, east versus west thing out in like an afternoon, you know what I mean? Which would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Kind of like have the team body weight and then team total and then coefficient off of that.
The coolest thing I think about this year versus any that I can really think of in the last few years of powerlifting is that there's definitely been more opportunities for big meets with like money payouts.
Yeah.
You and I were talking about the other day. It's just like, maybe for a competition standpoint, to have everyone at the same spot at the same time, it kind of dilutes that a little bit because there's so many opportunities for people to go to these bigger meets and make money and stuff. So like from like a spectator standpoint, like, maybe that's not as cool, but like for us, like, I think that's great, man. Like you can go to, there's a meet going on in July, there's another one in September, toward the end, there's meets all throughout the year where you can make big money, compete against big lifters. It's on a big platform. So it's like, you got plenty of eyes. It's, because you've lifted in New England, dude, some of those meets. Like I've lifted at smaller meets in Florida, dude. Like the small meets are fun. Like that's what you come up with. So you don't know any different, but like think of like your very first meet that you ever did. Would you want to lift in those kind of meet circumstances again? Where it's like probably a slammed warm-up room, no air conditioning. You know what I mean? Like you get there late, you have no idea where you're gonna put your stuff. Like I don't know, man. It's certain spots definitely have better setup, and it doesn't, at the end of the day, it's like, it's not it doesn't make a huge difference, but you want to, like we were just talking about, like we have our little things before meets, like you want to have everything perfect leading up to it. I was just watching some YouTube stuff with the World's Strongest Man next weekend in Sacramento. Brian Shaw, for like the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, he's 4-time World's Strongest Man. He goes out there and he has all of his recovery equipment sent out. He has like a week's worth of food sent out. He has his team, his personal massage therapist, his PT, like they all go out with him. So he goes out there with a crew and just like a huge supply of things. So literally like a week early too. So like he just chills and like nothing changes from what he did back home. And you can look at that and be like, well, shit, that seems like a lot of extra stuff why would you want to do that? And it's like, I mean, if you can, like, why not? Again, you want to put yourself in the best position and do the absolute best because you've sunk 3 or 4, 5 months, full year sometimes just getting ready for one event to be good on one day. I want that to be perfect.
Oh yeah. The longer that you're somewhere after travel, the better your results are going to be. So he's been there for like a full week before, and now he's going in to compete. Like I know I flew in to the Ghost Clash like 2 days before. I don't know how that affected me. I don't want to make excuses for my shit day, but
no. But it was your first travel. My first travel meet, dude. I got a 20-pound meet PR. I went 6 for 9 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's you have like these goals, and then like you realize like traveling and then going to like a bigger event with more pressure and just whatever more. It changes things, you know what I mean? And it's not like a huge thing, but it's like once you know what to expect, I think that's you're limiting your variables, you know what I mean?
Yeah. At least this time, I'm not gonna fly to the American Pro. I'm gonna be driving, so it'll be a little better. Won't have to suffer through Spirit Airlines again.
Are you driving or is someone driving you?
We'll split the difference. I'll be driving with someone.
If you can have them drive there and then you drive back, and then like on the way there you're kicked back in like the passenger seat, like full back in optimal position, no back pumps, no uncomfy rides, like telling you like just get to the meet and then you can drive home from there.
Yeah, go into like stasis mode.
Literally, dude.
Yeah.
Rest.